So Alaska isn't a country? Oh, hey everyone, it's me, Dom. Welcome back to Dom Meets World. Hope you've been enjoying the podcast. Make sure you find me on all streaming platforms and leave an amazing rate and review. You've all probably been following me on Perfect Match and my journey since, and now I'm excited to continue that with a deeper dive into my dating life. Each week on Dom Meets World, I'll welcome a new guest to discuss all things relationships, heartbreaks, advice, and everything in between. So I know a lot of you have been wondering from the last episode, where is Taylor Swift? And don't worry. She's here today. She'll be joining us as the musical guest. But first, I'm here today with none other, the one and only Laganja.
Yeah!
Woo!
Put your lighters up. Ganja's in the house. What's
As
good,
we
Dom?
go. I don't know why that was the song that came to mind. The Vitamin C.
Love it.
Yeah. How's everything going? How's life?
So well. I feel like since we last saw each other, I've just been traveling and working nonstop, to be honest, which is a good thing.
And you said you were in Thailand.
Thailand. Yeah, it was my first time there. It was so amazing. I got to eat all the delicious food. I've always been like a huge fan of Thai food. So having it in actual Thailand was such an experience. We did like super fancy meals, and then we also ate in a parking lot. So I got to see everything in between, which is like really my vibe. I like to see it all, bougie and bad, and then just like, normal.
So what were you there for? What were you doing in Thailand?
I was performing with Drag Race Thai Fans, which is an incredible company. This was the first time ever that they've brought in a RuPaul's Drag Race girl to perform. And I was actually in a mall at like a very fancy GameStop.
A GameStop?
Yeah, it wasn't called GameStop, but it was basically like a GameStop.
Yeah.
So that was like a new experience. I don't know that I've ever performed in a mall before. It was a very fancy mall, but it was super cool. It was super fun. A lot of queens, were running through the mall in their, gear, looking fabulous. So we got a lot of people like on foot to come to the show that had no idea what they were walking into, which was really fun for me to perform for people who had no idea what RuPaul's Drag Race was or who I was. But then, of course, we had the Drag Race Thai fans there, too. So it was a very special experience. As someone who's been traveling the world for like the last decade, I can honestly say like this was my favorite trip. Like Brazil has always been my number one spot. Love Brazil. But I think I have truly fallen in love with Thailand. I'm like ready to move. Yeah.
I want to check it out. So with the Drag Race, you said there's a Drag Race Thailand?
So there is a Drag Race Thailand franchise. It's hosted by a queen named Pangina Heels, who I'm a huge fan of and love. There's so many franchises now. Like literally, it's hard to keep them straight, pun intended. But yeah, no, Thailand definitely has their own franchise, but they also have their own group called Drag Race Thai Fans.
Do you ever find is there like a hierarchy amongst the different franchises?
Yeah, for sure. I think the American version is definitely at the top of the food chain. Yeah. Then All Stars, then like the Versus chapters, which is basically like they did the UK versus the world, and I forget what's coming next, but those I think would be third. And then probably UK, then who came next? Canada. And then, then I start losing track. Yeah. There's so many now. There's like Mexico and France and Philippines. But what's super cool to me about the franchises is that they're all hosted by other drag queens from most likely the American show. So like Nikki Doll's doing France. We've got Jiggly Caliente doing the Philippines. Valentina doing Mexico. So I think it's really cool because it gives the girls an opportunity to flex on their hosting skills.
Nice.
Yeah, and it also gives RuPaul a break, which is what it's really about.
Do you ever see yourself hosting maybe a different franchise?
I mean, maybe if there's like a weed drag vibe, I could host that. But no, I don't think I represent another country. I'm just white bread from Texas. Yeah, so maybe if they have a country one I could do, I don't know.
So coming from Texas, how did you find yourself getting into drag?
Gosh, I mean, I feel like drag chose me. That's what I always say. I didn't intend on becoming a drag queen. I went to school for dance and choreography out here in California. I got my BFA. And drag was just something I did for fun. It was a hobby. But when I graduated from college from the California Institute of the Arts, I just started doing drag in West Hollywood and it really took off. And about a year later after that, I was on Drag Race. So that sort of completely changed
that happened,
my
like, pretty quick.
trajectory. Yeah, I got on really quick. A lot of girls will audition over and over. I only had to do it once, which was amazing for me. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that my drag mother, Alyssa Edwards, was on the previous season, and she was definitely a fan favorite as well as a producer's favorite. So I think they really wanted to please her. So that's why they put me on. But also I have talent and I was ridiculous. So, you know, I think in the end it was a good package deal for them.
So in terms of like, because I'm an idiot, but what was your like introduction to drag? Like, what is a drag mother? Is that sort of like I know like anime.
Okay.
And to me, that's like your sensei.
Okay.
Like your or like Star Wars, like that's your Jedi master.
Yeah. See, now I feel dumb. I don't know what the you're talking about. No. But yeah, sounds good. If that's how you relate to it, I love it. Basically, a drag mother is someone who takes you in and sort of like shows you the way, teaches you makeup, teaches you all about costuming and hair, introduces you to other people that they've worked with previously. They're sort of like a mentor, but with a lot more sass.
Oh, okay. That makes it. It's like Kakashi when he took Naruto as a kid and mentored him and taught him how to do like the Rasengan and different jutsus and stuff like that.
Sounds good. Yeah, totally. Just like that.
That's just how I relate everything back to anime. That's my comparison for everything.
I get it. We all have our things. Mine just happens to be drag queens.
So how did your drag mother, does your drag mother find you? Do they scout you? Do they see you perform and they're like...
I think families find each other in different ways. You know, the way that Alyssa and I found each other was I was working at her dance studio Beyond Belief in Mesquite, Texas. I started working there when I was like maybe 17 or 18. And I would come back every summer to Texas from California and teach at her studio. And I knew she did drag, but it wasn't something we really talked about. I think especially back then, we're talking over a decade ago, you know, drag wasn't as popular or as accepted as it is now. And so she kept that part of her life very separate from her work at the studio. But when she got on season 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race and it was all over the internet, she kind of had to confront that. And when she did, I confronted her and was like, well, look, I'm actually interested in doing this too. So that's when she sort of started showing me the ropes and getting me in drag. And it was sort of all, I don't want to say downhill, it was all uphill from there.
So what's the trajectory from like you start doing drag and you're doing like small shows or...
Yeah, I think, again, it's different for every queen. You know, I was really lucky that I am team talent. And so, you know, I did a couple of shows in LA for like what we call tip spots, which basically means you're doing it for free and only for the tips the audience is going to give you as sort of like an audition. But I think very early on, the queens out here in LA recognized that I brought something special to the show with my dance abilities. And so, you know, I went from making tips only to $50 a night. Yeah. So it was a real big pay upgrade. Yeah. I'm being facetious. Yeah.
Does it ever get like competitive? Like when you're starting out at those kind of like those drag shows?
Absolutely. Yeah. I did many competitions in the beginning of my career. I remember one specifically was out in Pomona, the IE, and it was called Queen of Queens. And I actually was the first performer to go and to compete. And I ended up winning the whole thing. So it was kind of a gagger because I came out the gate super hot and people kind of knew right away, like, oh, well, she just won. So like, what's the point of doing the show? Which was really great for me because it really showed people that I was determined to make a name for myself out here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I found like, by the way, congratulations on all your success and everything like that. I remember when I went to my first drag show, it was like this picnic. It was like outdoors. It was like for...
A picnic?
It was like a picnic setting.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
It was outdoor drag though?
It was outdoor. It was like during the day, it was like a brunch.
Not my favorite time. No, I think drag is meant to be done indoors with lots of air conditioning.
Okay. Yeah. It was hot. It was like, I think it was like in August I went. I realized like it really is its own culture in a sense. Like it's kind of like, even as you're watching, it's like I went with a friend and they were teaching me how to edit.
A friend or a friend?
It was a friend.
Oh,
it was a friend. Okay. It was a friend. I can't even allude to that because her boyfriend is like also my really good friend. Okay. But she's actually my stylist.
Oh, nice.
Shout out Andrea. But she's actually my stylist and she took me to, she was like, you gotta come. And I was like, okay, I'm down. We went. and I learned like there is actually like an entire like culture and like an etiquette as a viewer.
Absolutely.
Like as
don't
a part
touch
of
the dolls and bring us your dollars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but there is a certain etiquette, and it was like probably the most fun I've ever had, to be honest. Like, just like as entertainment.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like the song choice, the dancing.
Sure.
And it was like actual. I viewed it as like I could never do that. Like you are an actual athlete. Like you are like.
Yeah, I mean, some drag queens do what we call park and bark, which is just like walk around and they don't do much. So, you know, I don't want, for those who are not familiar with the whole drag scene, I don't want to give everybody the idea that everyone's jumping off balconies like I do into splits. Yeah. But I definitely think what I bring to the art form is athleticism for sure.
Yeah, and I noticed that a lot. And I was like, I can never do that, especially in like the extravagant costumes and the heels. And I was like, yeah, there's no way. So excited to have Laganja here to talk about our topic today, dating as a public figure. But before we get into that, what's your current dating life like? Who are you dating? Are you seeing anybody?
You know what? I am married to my work.
Okay.
Yeah, I have learned in this life that dating is just a distraction. I'm here to make money. Mm-hmm. I'm here to make those connections. And eventually, I think love will come back into my life. I was a serial dater in the beginning of my life. I had monogamous relationships from a very early age. My first boyfriend actually was in high school, and then my second boyfriend was in college, and we dated for 5 years. So I'm used to and want to have very serious relationships, but I've learned here in LA that that's a pretty hard thing to find, especially as a public figure, as you mentioned. And ultimately, you know, I'm like, what's your credit score? What are you bringing to the table? Like, I feel like I bring a lot, and I feel like I just haven't gotten yet into that pool where I will find my perfect match. I feel like I'm definitely looking for someone who can at least meet me halfway, but ideally, you know, go all the way.
But if you're putting in your career for it, because I've found myself kind of in that same world right now, where like my work is like top priority, like dating, sex, everything is like just falling so far down.
No, I'm still having sex. Okay, that's a different thing than dating, baby. Don't get that twisted.
Okay, my fault. Personally, it's falling down the totem pole for me just because I've been like so consumed with work and everything like that. It's like anything dating, social has been like kind of taking a back seat.
Sure.
Because I'm new to this, so I'm figuring everything out. But
well, and you just came off a huge dating show where that was what your main focus was.
Yeah.
So it only makes sense that you're like, okay, I'm gonna pump the brakes on that for a second.
Yeah.
Just did that publicly. Yeah.
But I am similar in the fact of like, all I've had is like long-term relationships.
Okay,
like
gotcha.
Serious relationships. So for me, it's like the idea of dating is not only like, even before the show, the idea of dating is like, going through the talking phase. And it's like,
getting naked for the first time in front of someone. I find that to be difficult.
Yeah.
Like, not when it's a hookup, but when it's someone you like and you've been talking to seriously, and there's like, you know, sexual tension that's built up. I think that is like a much more intimate thing than like a hookup. So yeah, I think it's definitely a challenge as a public figure too. I think that adds like a whole nother layer to dating. But I also find that helps in a way too. And that's what I meant about finding that right circle. Like, I feel like once I get more popular and I'm in an even bigger pool of celebrity, then that's when I'll be likely to find someone that's more, I don't want to say on my level, but on my level.
Well, I mean, like, I would consider you like, you are like a pretty big celebrity.
I don't think so. I personally don't. I think Nicole Kidman is a celebrity. I think Mickey Mouse is a celebrity. So I'm like on my way. Maybe we're like on the D list, you know, but I feel like there definitely is bigger and greater out there. And I'm looking forward to reaching that level, because right now the people who are on my same level, like I said, I feel like out in LA are not serious, and they're more interested in being seen with you for a picture than they are for actually being with you. And that's why, for me, I just got tired of that. I got tired of trying to make it work with people that weren't really interested in getting to know me, and were just more interested in being with Laganja, the public figure.
And how do you navigate that? Because I've found myself kind of dealing with that as well.
Yeah.
That's pretty new, of like, there's certain people like, that I find them interesting, and maybe I want to like see things a little further than just like, just talking.
Yeah.
But then it turns into like, is it because of me or is it because
let's do a TikTok
you
together.
saw me on this? Yeah, let's do a TikTok together, or they're an influencer and it's like, then it becomes dating me or seeing me becomes content to them,
right?
In a sense.
Totally. I think the way I navigate that is I just don't entertain it. I really don't. I feel like I don't put myself out there very often in that way. I think I come off very confident, and a lot of people just assume that I must have a boyfriend. And I just go with that. I run with that. I let that, be what it is. Because again, for me, I feel like my work is my true love right now. And ultimately, my work doesn't talk back. Yeah. My work doesn't have other emotions that I have to navigate. It is a little selfish, I'm not going to lie, to just be focused on my work. But I feel like that's why I'm here in LA. LA is not a place you go to fall in love, in my opinion. I thought it was when I moved here because of the movies, but I realized like, oh, right, that's all scripted. It's not like actually real. So yeah, I feel like, again, I'm just waiting for that time where I'm also happier with myself and my like position in the world to then allow that to come back into my life. Because I do feel like it is there. It's there for all of us. But it is like a door or a window that we have to like really open and be vulnerable with. And right now, I don't have the time to be distracted by dick.
Yeah. Are you more, so I guess like you're more wary if like, even when it comes to hooking up with people, are you a little bit more wary in terms of like what their intentions are, or are you just like?
When it comes to hooking up, I feel like I'm pretty closed off. Like I don't feel like most people I hook up with know who I am. So that's something like I don't really reveal. And I don't really like, hook up with the gay kids anymore. So most of the people that I am involved with, they don't really know who I am, which is great. And I love that. That's super fun for me. And I enjoy that. And it feels a lot more safe than revealing who I am and letting them into my life. And, I like the sort of anonymity of, them not knowing my whole vibe.
They never give you like search your socials or look up your name.
No, it's a hookup. It's in, it's out. It's quick. It's good to go, baby.
Yeah, bang, boom.
We're not getting to know each other. We're doing one thing and one thing only. It's like I go to yoga, I have sex. It's just an activity on the schedule.
See, what's your sign?
This is very opposite of my sign though. Capricorn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're usually very emotional and very attached, but I've just learned in my life how to not be that way when it comes to sex.
Do you feel like you've become like maybe jaded in a sense?
Sure. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I think once you get your heart broken enough, or you have people who, like I said, use you for your status or who you are, it's hard not to be, right? Like it's hard not to change and to build like a sort of exterior or outer wall.
That's how I feel coming off the show. I feel like I just became like super. At first, I was like, "Oh, I'm just taking time for myself, or whatever." But like, the more I started to like look inside myself, I was like, I feel like I just become super jaded to just like dating, and it's hard for me to trust or even like have any sort of optimism when it comes to like dating.
Welcome to LA. I think it will do that. I think most people out here will say they can agree. I just think, this is a city where most people are here for their career first and foremost. And I think that's why love always takes a back seat.
Yeah.
And so, I tried to fight that for many years. I used to be boy crazy before my HRT, my hormone replacement therapy, but thank God that really leveled me out. And it helped me at least accept my truth, which is I'm not looking for love right now.
Yeah.
I want to, but not really.
All right. Now let's really get into this. Do you have any stories, like dating as publicly, and like crazy stories, anything? It could be good. It could be bad.
Well, I, in the beginning, definitely would hook up with my fans. I like to call it the VIP experience. Us queens from RuPaul's Drag Race were known for doing meet and greets before our gig, which is where, I like to call them my buds because I think fans is very alienating and it makes it sound like I'm better than them. Buds is also my brand since I'm a cannabis activist.
Right.
So, there was definitely a point in my life where if the bud was cute and feeling the doll, that after the show was over, I would take them back and give them the ultimate experience. Yeah, totally.
Was there ever sort of any expectations when it comes to weed? Were they ever like,
Yes. So I have had that happen a lot with me where people like don't smoke or they smoke very little. And then around me, they feel like they got to be Snoop Dogg and then they get too high. And that's a whole thing. I've also had a lot of like different buds of mine, like, you know, be super excited to hook up with me. But then when it happens, like they get nervous and they're not able to perform. That's a very common thing in the drag race scene. We call them, race chasers.
Race chasers. I love that. Like you guys have like a lot of terminology.
Yeah. There's like, a word for everything. We love a lingo. We love a vernacular for sure. But yeah, I think one of my craziest stories was I took this lovely gentleman back to my, you know, hotel, and I was medicated for sure. I definitely had some cocktails in the night, and you know, this was back when I was really brave and bold, and we've definitely smoked weed in the hotel room. And the way I used to do it was like you would turn on the shower and do it in the bathroom because like the steam sort of helps get rid of the smell. Put the towels like underneath that door and like the main hotel door. Well, I guess that day I had not done the towel trick, and so the smoke had filtered out into the hallway, and we got caught, and we were both like fully in the shower naked vibes. So that was definitely a story I'll never forget.
Wait, did they come in?
Well, they knocked on the door, and so like, you know, I just did like a whole towel wrap up vibe and answered the door, and then they were like, "We know you're smoking in here. We're gonna fine you $200." And ever since then, I've never smoked in a hotel room. That was like a traumatic event for me. Like I was like, okay, right, never do that again. But like I'm still in touch with that person today. Like they're still a friend of mine, and like I love them. And yeah, I feel like a lot of times hooking up with the people who support you is great. It's like a wonderful experience. I mean, they love you so to begin with. So it's like,
but
you
don't find it like it gets
thing.
like it might get a little like because they are fans of you.
Yeah,
like it can get like crazy after that, or
usually like, no. I feel like usually they're like so excited and so like happy with the experience, and you know, it's like rock star energy, right? Like they know going in like this is probably a one-time thing. We're not trying to fall in love here. We're just having a good time.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess like
I think I make that pretty clear too.
That's a good comparison. Like I would say like as a drag queen, like it's more comparable as to like me being a reality star, like you being a rock star in a sense. Like you are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think again, as long as you're clear with your intentions with people, like there's nothing wrong with that. And I think most people know that I live a very busy life and I'm in Ohio for the one night. And, you know, I'm not saying that it isn't a possibility and it isn't something that I wouldn't be open to. But I think, you know, back in that day when I was doing that particular behavior, it was very clear that this is a fun moment and that's it. I'm getting on a plane in 4 hours and, you know, don't expect us to be like best friends. Now I'm in love with you and I'm moving to Ohio, you know?
Yeah, very upfront about it.
Yeah, I try to be. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I couldn't do that. Or like not even like I would want to do that or anything like that. And also just gonna like preface by saying I don't think I'm anybody. Like I think I'm like Michael B minus Jordan. Like I'm like I'm like so bottom tier of whatever.
Well, you're selling yourself short, Dom.
No, I think I'm selling myself very accurate. I don't think I'm anybody. However, being on reality TV, especially a dating show, I feel like it's almost as if like the show never ends. Like your love life then becomes a narrative almost. Yeah. Like people sort of have like they've romanticized like Dom's love life in a sense. Like who's Dom gonna end up with now? He's been through this, he's been through that. Right. So the idea of me like hooking up with, I don't want to say a fan because I don't think I'm anybody, but like a supporter, someone, a follower, or anyone who's watched the show. Yeah. I'm always very wary of it because it's like, what if they would think like they're the one or they're that person that's like the answer. I guess because like you said, your show was centered around that. It was centered around dating show, like, so it's like if someone else like, and again, I don't think I'm anybody. Just like it's just the idea of like I don't want to get someone's hopes up of them maybe believing that they're the answer to what they view me on TV because I've been through heartbreak. Well, and that's everything. Why I say you have to be clear with your intentions. Yeah. If you let them know up front, baby, this is a fun time. This is the VIP experience. We're going to have a good time and then we're going to keep it moving. But I've also had an experience where like I've slid in DMs and then the show came out or they realized I was on a show and they will literally like screenshot those DMs and then post it online and be like, look who slid in my DMs.
Right. So that's another thing that like you just have to, for me at least, that I realize like I have to get used to.
Yeah.
And like any naughty pictures I ever send, I'm like, well, if those get leaked, like let me make sure it's a good photo.
Yeah.
You know, like let me make sure. And I mean, knock on wood, that's never happened to me. But also like I'm not ashamed of my body.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone was to do that, like that's really on them. That's really their behavior, not mine. Like I hate when people, you know, are criticized for taking sexy photos and they're like, well, you shouldn't have done that in the first place if you didn't want them leaked. And it's like, no, that's not fair. Like we're allowed to be sex positive. We're allowed to express ourselves when we trust someone. And I think to turn that around on the person is just so misguided.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, that's why I'm always like very cautious, and I know, and it's not like I'm, you know, going to expose my face in the sexy photo usually, but I also am like, yeah, I'm down. I'm down to have a good time. Down to have a good time.
That's a great. I've never taken a nude. I've taken like a couple.
Oh, come on, Dom.
No, okay, with my.
As if.
No, I'm saying like with my ex, I've taken nudes, but I've been like classy about it.
Okay.
Like one nude I took, like we were living together, and like it was steamy in the shower room, so I took a nude.
Okay.
But like the steam was covering those areas on the mirror.
Sure.
And then I airdropped it
to her. So it was more
of
a sexy photo.
Yeah, and I sent it. I like airdropped to her because she was in another room, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a good. You know, I was like, that's kind of a dope photo. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You leave them wanting more.
But if I were to ever like send someone a nude, I'm way too like self-conscious about what is happening in the photo, like creatively. Like I'm like, so like
now
if I'm taking
art directing your nudes.
Yeah, I'm like art directing. So like I'm like looking in the mirror, I'm like, all right, but what is my face doing?
Right.
Like if I'm smiling, why am I smiling naked? You know what I mean?
Because you're hot.
But like, it's like I'm smiling and then there's just like dick. You know what I mean? It's like
that's sickening.
Yeah, it's like you look up and it's like he's smiling. But what kind of smile? Is it like I feel like when you're naked and you're like things just flopping there and you're smiling, it kind of looks like menacing.
What? No.
It doesn't like
it looks like you're enjoying yourself.
I guess I don't know. It just seems like.
I mean, unless you're doing like a creepy Joker smile, in which case then maybe it is menacing.
And then it's like also, how do you position this? You know what I mean?
Upwards.
What?
Upwards.
Like towards myself?
In a full erect position.
But then it would like you take it from the side?
Oh, you take it from wherever makes it look biggest. Absolutely.
Right. I never understood like these ones.
I love those ones.
Really?
Yeah, because that's giving first perspective.
But that's
giving bird's eye view.
Like as if it's your dick.
Sure.
Like you know, like you'd get it, it's like, oh, right.
I feel like it's giving like you're looking from the top.
What about like a nude video? Do you prefer nude videos?
Love a video.
Like,
love a video.
Like what kind of it? Like you're looking around and it's like, oh shit. Like
no, that's lame. No, I want the full enchilada, baby. I want to see it in action. I want to know what's going on. I want to know, how it's going to be used.
Okay, I got to work on my art directing on my nudes then. I think once I find a
steamy
vision,
shower picture sounded good.
Yeah, I think it would have to just be like I've done like nude photo shoots before, but it's been like, I'll be like underwater or something.
Right, classy.
You know what I mean?
I love
classy.
those.
Like, if I was gonna send a nude, it'd have to be something like that. Like I would need like I need like a vision board.
I love it. Hey,
gotta get creative with it.
You want to give artsy nudes? Give it.
Yeah, I think that's me.
I ain't got time for that. So I'm like, what's the tea? Where are we going?
It wouldn't fulfill me like artistically to just be like and then send it over. I'd be like, I
love that your nudes need to fill you artistically. That's great.
I feel like I have to. You can't pour from an empty cup. So you know what I'm saying. I have to make sure that I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
and then I could be like, hey, look at how much effort. That's what it is. It's like I can't find the right way to put the effort into the nudes. Yeah. In order to convey how much. I think
maybe you're just overthinking it. I hate to break it to you, but I think maybe you're just psychologically like really reading into it.
No, but like let's say like you received a nude, right? Like, yo, I'm gonna send you a nude tomorrow. Yeah. Right? What do you expect? You're expecting like maybe it's like a mirror photo.
Well, first off, I'm like, tomorrow? I'm horny right now.
Well, no, because that's the thing. So like what if I tell you I'm gonna send you a nude tomorrow, right? And then it just ends up being like something like that. You'd be like, I would be very disappointed. I waited 24 hours for this. Right. Now, what if I said, I'm going to send you a nude tomorrow, and it's like, I'm in the sunset. There's birds overhead. Wow. I have a production team. Okay. I'm coming out the water. And I'm covering it. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's like a carousel. You know what I mean? It comes along with like.
Wow, it's a whole slideshow.
Yeah, it's a whole slideshow. It's like a video
where's
montage.
Where's the OnlyFans link, baby? We're ready.
I'm just saying. Like, then you'd be like, wow, he really cares about what, you know what I mean? My enjoyment from these nudes. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do for somebody. Okay. That's how I would approach it.
I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that.
Have you had any sort of like positive experiences dating as a public figure though? Like maybe
No, pretty much since I got on RuPaul's Drag Race, I've been single. So we're going on like a decade here of being single. There have been moments where I've maybe seen someone for a couple of weeks, but it just always fizzles out. I think I'm also a very eccentric person. I come with a lot. I'm very loud. I'm very colorful. I'm very confident. Mm-hmm. And I think for most people that can be intimidating. And I think also most people want to be the star in the relationship, and that's just not an option when you're with me. She's the star, baby. So it's like I have to find someone who not wants to take a back seat, but that isn't interested in also trying to dominate the industry. Right. I like people who are very different from myself. So like my one boyfriend that I was with for 5 years, he was an architect, and I loved that. I found that so interesting and so unique, and I really like people that are different than me. And I think, again, that's why it's been hard in the industry, is because so many people, even if they're not drag queens or influencers, they're actors or they're models or they're doing something very similar to me. Yeah. And I think there is a natural competition there between the two. Yeah. So that's why I'm always looking for like a soccer player or something that's like outside of the field of what I do.
Yeah. When it comes to like the industry of like being a creative, it's kind of like there's a sense of like ego. Yeah. Sense of status. Yeah. Like, I've had it even in like just friendships and relationships of like, you know, when the follower counts or who can get into more events or can you get me into here?
Yeah, see, I don't like all that.
Yeah.
I don't, and I just ultimately know my man who is out there, he just isn't into that. He's like, that's your thing, babe. You go do that. All good. I will see you when you get home and I'll have a blunt ready. You know, like
I feel like I'm the same way where like I like my last relationship, she was an art curator.
Oh, cool.
And like I know like all about art. Like I don't know anything about it.
But that's how you learn.
Yeah, and like she read books all the time. I couldn't read a page of a book to save my life.
I feel you on that. Like, I feel you on that.
So it was like I would come home and she'd be like, "Oh, you won't believe what I read about." I'd be like, sit down. I'd be like so invested and learn because like I know nothing about like authors, novels, books. I know nothing about art and you know designers. I know nothing. And she would like relay out, and I found that so interesting because I know nothing about that world. We were so different. And in the relationship, there wasn't any competition overlap.
Exactly. You know well, and I think that's what keeps a relationship fresh, right? Is when you're being challenged by your partner. And I think that's another reason why I've sort of given up on the dating scene right now is, you know, to challenge me, you have to like be bringing a lot because I'm a natural challenging person. I will always push back. Not necessarily in a bad way, but just in I'm intrigued way, and I'm confrontational, and I want to be challenged. Like my favorite dance teachers have always been the ones who were hardest on me, who had the ruler and who would hit us. Mm-hmm. Because I am a little bit masochistic and I do like when people, push my buttons. I think that's so hot. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't want a yes man in my life. There's so many yes men around in my life and in the industry, and I just don't find that to be real. I want someone who's going to have a different opinion or be bringing something different to the table.
Someone's going to like check you if you do something wrong.
Totally.
Like something that's not cool.
I find that so hot. I'm like, yes, check the doll. Yeah. Tell me what I did wrong, daddy, and punish me. I love it.
That's why for me, I'm like, I need like someone who's like very organized.
Oh yeah, me too.
Very like,
Are you organized yourself?
No, I'm absolute chaos.
Oh, okay.
I'm absolute chaos. I'm overly emotional.
I'm overly emotional, but
I'm self-aware of it.
Those two things don't go together. You could be organized and overly emotional.
No, but that's what I'm saying is like they they go together. For me, they don't.
Okay. So wait, is your house like messy?
It's not messy in someone else's eyes, I would say.
What does that mean?
It means like I know where everything is. You might look in and be like, I would
Are there clothes on the floor?
Clean clothes.
Oh no, that's a no for me.
It's like, you know when like you do your laundry?
Yeah, then you put it away.
You put it away. Yeah. I do my laundry and it might sit on the bed for a little bit.
Nah. I will keep it in the laundry basket, but then it will go into its place.
But
not on the bed, because then you're going to sleep on the bed, it's going to fall on the floor. And
I don't sleep with it in the bed. I just mean like it might be there, like I'm not getting right to it. It might be like 2 shirts at a time.
Okay.
That's like me single. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
But when I'm in a relationship, it's like
you respect the other person's space.
I respect the other person's space. You know, when I have someone over. But if like in my era right now, it's kind of like, I know no one's coming back home.
Sure.
No one's ever gonna see this.
Sure.
So I'm just gonna chill and vibe. And I don't care what anyone said. Like everyone is like, no, my place is always just like the cleanest. And I get up and I make my bed and I wipe down my table. Like those videos you see online, those reels of people like putting their tripod down and they wake up and they're like, and they clean up their bed.
I literally saw this girl yesterday on TikTok. She had an orchid flower in her refrigerator.
Yeah.
I said, now come on, girl. That's so staged.
Yeah.
As if.
Yeah, it's like, come on, this is not your daily routine.
Right. I will admit right now there is a huge pile of drag in my drag room right now. It's true. It's true. But usually, and it will be gone today because I have a friend coming over tomorrow, but usually, no piles of clothing for me.
Normalize being messy, man. Like, it's okay. Like, this is normal. It's fine to not be like a routine clean freak. Like, it's totally fine. Yeah, so for me, I always feel like it's like a nonstop narrative for me. Like, just like, because I'm so new.
Totally. No, I understand that for you.
And it's been like, I've gone on like a date just because I was like, okay, I'll go on a date. And I went with an influencer. And I remember.
There's where you went wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, I didn't know that she was like a big influencer.
You didn't peep her Instagram before the date?
I knew of who she was, but I didn't think it was going to be like.
That vibe.
It was going to be the vibe, like content was going to be made around the date. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it was
That's already not a date to me, but yeah, sure.
But I just like, no, I mean like she made a review afterwards of the date.
What?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
And I've had that before where it's been like.
Not they're Yelping your dates.
Yeah. I've had like.
Why?
Just, I don't know. I don't know why.
That's weird.
But like I've had it before, but it's been like, oh, there's been like. I've been told that they're doing it. And I'd be like, okay, like that's fine. Like, but this one was,
I guess at least they were upfront.
At least they were upfront about it.
Sure.
But I found out like afterwards and like, oh hey, this is kind of like my content thing. Like, do you mind if I post it? And I'm like, yeah, it was a great date. Like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, doesn't matter to me, right? Whatever. But
we live in such a weird time.
Yeah,
I just can't even. I'm like, if you're pulling your phone out during a date, it's already a no for me.
So like, then it's like,
let's be engaged here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want to get to know you. Like, we have to take pictures of our food like on this date. Like, that's too much to me.
Yeah. Or personally. it's like, you know, I might be out with somebody who's another influencer. And then that influencer hangs out with someone that I used to date who's in, you know what I mean? And then I check like my comments and they're like, oh, this person was hanging out with this person.
Right.
And do you think this person's talking to this person?
Now they're telling stories.
This person posted a picture with this person. And then it turns into like people are creating this entire narrative around it that's like
I can't imagine that, honestly. Like, I'm glad that my stuff is just drag related because that sounds like a lot to navigate, truly.
So like, I guess my question would be, as somebody who's like now entering the world of like, again, I'm nobody, but being somewhat relevant at the moment, I think I'm nearing like my 15 minutes. I think I'm at like 14 minutes and like 37 seconds of my 15 minutes.
You're stupid.
But like for me personally, like what would your advice be for me, like going into this and dating as a public person figure?
Use condoms. Check for hidden cameras.
Right.
And, you know, I think just in general, my advice to people is always like to wear your heart on your sleeve. I think being vulnerable is key. I think, again, that's why I've pulled back from dating right now is because I know I'm not able to do that. So I know that I'm not in this space to be adequately dating because I feel like if you can't lead with your heart, like there's really no point in trying to date someone. Right. So I guess, that would be my advice to you is that when you're ready to date again, like just be open, be honest, be present, be vulnerable, and, you know, don't be afraid to fall. Because I think that's also like another thing I feel like myself doing is protecting myself from falling in love. And that's just so counterintuitive, right? Like you have to be willing to take that leap of faith. So, that would be my advice for you.
It's almost like when you get into like a relationship, it's like you found yourself preparing for the exit, which is kind of like how I look at it. It's like I always like.
See, I don't do that. I just don't even prepare for the entrance.
Oh, you don't?
That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm at right now. It's like I'm just not even prepared for the entrance because I know the type of person I am. And when I do fall for someone and I do meet someone I really like, I'm then full force.
Okay.
And my whole life becomes about them and becomes about making sure they're happy because that's ultimately what really turns me on is pleasing my partner. So again, that's why for me, I'm just like, I'm putting that on a pause right now because I just know it would be such a huge distraction because once I'm in love, I don't care about my job.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm like, it's fine. I don't need the booking. I'd rather stay here with my boo and chill out.
Yeah. You're like, that's similar to how I am, where like, I think for a long time, I was such a relationship person that I put that person on a pedestal.
Totally.
For a long time.
Yeah.
And they became like my world. Like I was their biggest supporter.
Yep.
I wanted to see them shine other than like take all my shine away and give it all to them.
Right. I want to see you win.
I want to see you win.
Because you winning is me winning.
And then then after a while, you start realizing like I haven't done anything for myself. Like I put like this person, this relationship forward, and then when it ends, it's like now where am I?
Right, and you feel lost.
And I think that's how I felt.
I feel that.
And now it's like now I'm worried about getting back in that world because I'm like I don't want to get lost. I feel like I'm finally finding myself.
Yeah.
And finding my groove and where.
Well, that's why I say stick with that for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like RuPaul always says, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell can you love somebody else? And as cheesy as that may be, I personally really believe in that. And I think loving yourself is one of the hardest things to do. And I know for me and my journey right now with where I'm at, like I'm finally starting to feel that again. Like I'm really starting to fall in love with who I am. And I think that's why, again, that's where I come off as confident from is because for a lot of my life, I faked my confidence. I faked it till I made it. And now that I'm finally making it, I just want to like super own that. And I think eventually, especially like further along into my transition, that's going to allow me to be a better person and show up for my partner in a more real way where I'm not just placing them on a pedestal, but that it's an actual back and forth and ebb and flow.
Right. No, I just have to take that all in.
Okay.
I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm just like
speechless, honey. I left him gagging.
I'm like, that was actually really good advice. That was actually really good.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I like to give advice. I don't like to take my own, but I love to give it.
I'm like, I'm terrible at advice.
Really? At giving advice?
I feel like
you're such a kind, sweet person. You probably give great advice.
Yeah, but I feel like all my advice, like, just be a good person, just lead with love. And sometimes that's just not the answer sometimes.
No, it's always the answer. In my opinion.
I don't know. That's gotten me into some troubles.
Yeah, but wasn't that hot water worth it? Because being a good person is like the one good thing to do.
That's what I always believe. Like I'm like,
I'd rather get
be
into
loyal, be nice.
Hot water
but then
for being a good person.
sometimes I'm like, damn it, why am I so goddamn loyal? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
It really just kind of like.
I do. Loyalty is one of my specialties. I feel you on that. But again, I'd rather be a loyal person and have my heart broken than, be a messy hoe in a relationship.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to some fan
questions. And on messy hoe.
And on that note of messy hoes, let's answer some fan questions.
I love it. Let's do it.
All right. Now we're going to answer some of your fan questions. I posted an IG story right before this. So we'll rattle these off.
Okay, let's break it
You
down.
Ready?
Yes.
All right. So this one isn't, I guess it's a question.
Okay.
Describe your first kiss.
Oh my God. It was tragic. It was to this girl named Jocelyn Mooney. I was like in elementary school.
Name drop.
Huh?
Name drop.
Oh yeah, I love her.
Shout out Jocelyn.
I'm still friends with all my girlfriends from, elementary and middle school. Basically all the girlfriends I had growing up are the girls that I wanted to be. So yeah, I love them. Jocelyn Mooney, we were in the closet, literally, like in a closet, and we bumped teeth. That's how bad it was. Yeah. I mean,
like, what do you mean you went in like?
I don't even know how to explain it.
You were smiling when you went in?
I just know that teeth were bumped and it was very awkward. And the good Lord was trying to tell me, sweetheart, you're not into girls, definitely not. And then I remember my first boy kiss. It was, I won't say his name because he does not deserve the free promotion. But I was in high school and it was in the, I went to a performing arts high school. So it was in like the boys' changing room and it was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was much better. So yeah.
Were you guys late
I found my groove.
Were you late for class?
No, I'm a pretty timely person. Yeah. Yeah. I love to break rules, but being late is not one of them.
Nice. My first kiss was very interesting.
Was it?
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was in grade 3. How old were you in grade 3? Like you're like 9?
Elementary school.
9,
yeah, right.
10. So it was me, my friend Anthony, one of my best childhood friends, Anthony.
Okay.
You know, like you sat in like groups?
Sure, yeah, of course.
So it was me, my friend Anthony. We were across from these girls, Mimi and Samantha.
Okay.
And me and Anthony were like, yo, like I don't know what we were. We might have actually been watching, you know, Boy Meets World or something like that. But we were like, man, we want to kiss some girls. Like they be kissing girls on the TV. We want to kiss some girls. How do we kiss some girls? So for whatever reason, we created this thing called the Kissing Tree Club.
Okay.
The Kissing Club.
Love it.
But it was
smart.
But we were like, hey, so we have the Kissing Tree Club. You guys want to join the Kissing Tree Club? Like, yeah, we want to kiss, boy. Like, yeah, do you guys want to kiss us? Like, we kiss each other? Like, yeah. So every third recess, me, Anthony, and me and Samantha would go to this tree, and it was like a tree that was like, I remember it so vividly, there was a branch that just went like this.
Okay.
And we would go under that tree, and we would just kiss all recess.
I love it.
Kissing Tree Club. And everyone would try to join and be like, sorry, we're all maxed out on members.
Wow. Okay.
And we would just kiss. And
I
then
love that.
Me and Samantha, we were like elementary school sweethearts.
Oh.
Like from that point on, it was always like Dom and Samantha.
Sure.
She would play like the double Dutch game where it was like, who do you like? A, B, C. And then she would always mess up on D.
Love it.
Stuff like that. You
Love
know what
it.
I mean?
So cute.
And then I went to a birthday party in grade 6.
Okay.
We went to a skating rink.
Yeah.
And I'd never been to a skating rink. And there's this thing called a snowball or snowfall or something like that. And it's where the guys and girls separate, and the guys have to ask a girl to like hold hands and go around.
Cute.
But it was my friend's birthday party, so it was just guys. So we went there, and I was like, yo, I can't skate with nobody. Like,
right.
Like, I'm with Samantha. Like,
yeah.
Gonna tell Samantha
loyal, like you said.
Yeah. However, this girl comes up and she's like, hey, will you skate with me? And I got nervous, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll skate with you. And I skated with her. And then,
Sam was mad.
Yeah, and then we were on the ride back, and they're like, oh, someone's going to tell Samantha at school. And someone told Samantha at school, and she was upset at me.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, for like a week, and then we went to go watch Finding Nemo.
See, you were preparing for your perfect match lifestyle from jump.
Yeah. And
the drama of it all.
Yeah. We went to go, and then our parents dropped us off to go watch Finding Nemo. We made up.
Okay, that's good. Everyone loves Nemo.
And then I went to middle school, and I never saw Samantha again.
Oh, sad story ending.
I'm sure she's doing well. I'm pretty sure she's married now. So respectfully, Samantha, I hope you're doing well.
I feel like Jocelyn is definitely married now.
Yeah, but I just thought it was funny that my first kiss was like it was like premeditated.
Right.
It wasn't like romantic. It was just like it was like, I want to kiss some girls. Should we create a kissing club? Like, yeah.
I mean, hey, it worked. So props to you.
Yeah. I'm not, however, you know, everyone knows now there was a kissing challenge on Perfect Match, and I wasn't the best kisser. So
you weren't?
No.
But you weren't the worst.
I wasn't the worst.
Who got the really shady score?
The shady score?
Right? Didn't someone shade someone because they had hurt them and blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, Chase and Carousel.
Carousel, that's right. That was shady.
Yeah, I got a lot of 8s.
Yeah, that's good.
But I was told I was like a safe, secure kiss. I was a comfortable kiss.
That's good.
Yeah, but it's like you don't want to. Sometimes I could be sexy. Anyways, no, I can't. That doesn't even sound sexy. Being like, I could be sexy. That doesn't even sound sexy.
I love comfortable kisses. I think that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. I think you should own that.
Yeah, I kiss like a safe, reliable,
like a true
family
boyfriend,
SUV.
Right?
Yeah,
I love that.
Safe, reliable.
A good old Subaru kiss.
Yeah, there's front to back warranty on my kisses.
Work. I'm all down for that.
Okay, next question. If you could redo any RuPaul Maxi challenge, what would you do differently?
Okay, well, I have to remember, is Maxi challenge like the same as mini challenge, or is that the main runway challenge? Well, I'll give you both.
Yeah.
So I won the very first mini challenge on my season, which is where we had to jump off of a platform into RuPaul's padding. And it was like a photo shoot, basically. So I won that. So I definitely wouldn't redo that one. But I do remember one where we had to like paint our chins with characters and like go upside down and make the character talk. And I just remember like I could have been more committed on that one. So I think I would redo that as far as mini challenge goes. And then the maxi challenge that I would redo would probably be the one that I won for, actually. It was with Adore Delano. We were like these mean girls. And I don't think I would necessarily redo the challenge, but I would redo the runway. I did this black and white lizard look that was just really bad. And ill-fitting pants. My crotch was very low, and I totally got red for it. read, and I'm infamous for like being like, oh my God, I can't believe I won. And Michelle Visage being like, I can't believe you did either. So yeah, I would like to redo that moment and redeem myself. And that would be a nice challenge to go back and revisit.
Right. I also did a challenge that I would go back and redo.
Oh yeah? What's yours?
It was a geography challenge.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The first, I had to label countries, and the first country I labeled was Alaska.
I remember.
Yeah. So if I can go back,
okay,
I would go back and I'd put an actual country.
But would you be better at it right now?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got a globe right there. Are you ready to play?
We could get it popping. I like after that, the amount of like flack and flame I caught for that, I was like, never again. Never. I was on Google Maps.
Yeah. Trust me, geography was not my strong suit either. But once I started traveling the world, it did become more important to me to know. And hopefully one day I'll have like a beautiful framed map in my house where I do have pins all over showing everywhere I've been.
Yeah.
So I definitely have gotten better at geography, but it's still, I wouldn't say my strongest suit.
Yeah, I failed in grade 9. So I'm very honest about like emotional intelligence. I feel like I've got a good grasp on.
Okay.
Actual intelligence.
Right.
Not so much.
For me, I always like studied for the test and could pass the test, but then I forgot it.
Yeah, I failed.
And the weed didn't help either.
I failed grade 9 math.
Really?
And my teacher actually told me, like, I remember he sat me down.
Yeah.
I'm like 14, 15. He sits me down and he goes, you got a 49. Damn. And I was like, oh, he's like, and I could bump you up to a 50 and you could pass. But I'm not going to.
Dang, what a rude.
Have fun in summer school. And I was like, why would you tell? Just give me the 49.
Right. Why do you have to?
What was? How much do you hate a child?
Right. I was actually good at math. Thank God. That was one of the subjects I like really succeeded at, because to me it was always like there is a correct answer. Mm-hmm. Whereas like when it was multiple choice and you had to like memorize facts, I was like screwed.
Mine was always English because I was like,
you were good at English?
I was good at like.
Okay.
Because it was just like.
Says the person who doesn't read. I love that.
Well, it was like with like. First off, shout out Spark Notes, lifesaver.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Notes
do they still have those?
Is
that like a thing kids use? Yeah, we definitely did.
Yeah. Shout out Spark Notes. Shout out the internet. Shout out the back of books and just piecing stuff together. Like I was
shout out to the movies.
Yeah, but also the movie. But the thing is with like English is like it's very opinion based. Sure. So as long as you could back up your opinion, and you had some sort of reasoning behind it, you could do pretty well.
Yeah.
And that was always my strong suit. Like I remember I did a comparison essay on The Kite Runner.
Okay.
And Alice in Wonderland.
Wow.
About the loss of innocence.
Interesting.
Have I ever read The Kite Runner?
No.
No. I just know one scene. That one scene from The Kite Runner that's very traumatic.
And you were able to elaborate.
And I was able to elaborate off of that and somehow compare it to Alice in Wonderland, which is the only book I've ever read in my life.
And it's dark, right? The real book?
Yeah, like darker than like the Disney movie, obviously.
Of course.
But in a sense, it's just like I was able to take essentially a children's book and compare it to The Kite Runner, which is just like some pretty gnarly stuff goes down.
Some pretty deep stuff. Yeah,
goes down in Kite Runner. But
I like it.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to our next question. What drag name would you give me?
Oh, gosh. Well, we actually talked about this the first time we met.
Yeah.
We were thinking it would be like something in the anime realm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know anime. So you have to like tell me anime characters and then we would like pick the feminine version of that. So like who's your favorite male anime character?
My favorite male, Eren Yeager.
Eren Yeager?
Yeah.
Like Jaeger, the stuff you drink?
Yeah. Eren Yeager.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe
he's like my favorite right now, but there's like, I'll give you a few. There's like Eren Yeager.
Well, for that, I would be like Alondra. Probably Jaeger. You could just keep that the same. Alondra Jaeger. Yeah.
Okay. There's also Ichigo.
Ichigo?
Yeah.
Ichigo. Ichigo.
I'll give you.
That's a hard one. All I can think of is Ichikawa. That's like a friend of mine's last name, but that's not necessarily that much more feminine.
Ichigo Kurosaki. Does that help if I give you Ichigo Kurosaki?
That's their full name? Yeah. The character's full name?
Ichigo Kurosaki.
Wow. I mean, I almost feel like that could just be the name itself.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily give me male or female. I kind of like that.
Naruto Uzumaki.
Naruto
Uzumaki.
Wow. I mean, all these names are so cool as is. I'm like, you don't really need to with them. Like, they're good as is. But I'm sure they're licensed and you would have to like figure out a way.
Yeah, flip it a little bit.
Yeah.
But okay, let's go. Okay, so we got Alondra Jaeger. I'll take that one. Then give me something just like look at me, my aesthetic, my appearance, and just give me one. Doesn't have to be anime related, just.
Well, I was thinking like Damita Jo.
Damita Jo.
It's like a famous thing with Janet Jackson, but like Dom, Damita.
Damita Jo?
Uh-huh.
Damita Jo.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Damita Jo.
Plus, it's a reference to Janet Jackson, who's a living icon and legend.
Damita Jo. All right. You guys heard. You guys put it in the comments. Do you like Damita Jo or Alondra Jaeger?
Yeah, I love
Alondra Jaeger, Damita Jo.
Let us know.
Let us know. And then maybe you guys pick a name. Might see me at a drag show.
Uh-oh. Look out. She's ready.
Would you be my drag mother?
No.
Would you?
I'm too young to be anyone's drag mom, but I would put you in drag.
Would you be like my drag sister?
Yeah, your drag sister, your drag adjacent friend.
Yeah. And just kind of like school me, put me to work.
Sure, we could make that work.
Yeah, the whole jumping to splits thing is something that's probably going to be a work in progress.
Yeah, I don't know if I could teach you how to do that in
that's
one
like
session.
That's like energy. That's not even like skill at that point.
It's stretching,
that's like,
flexibility. It takes time. It takes some practice.
All right, we're going to play a little game. Are you ready for a game?
Hell yeah, I'm very competitive.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, well, this isn't competitive.
Okay.
This is more so I'm just going to give you, we're going to play Would You Rather. Are you familiar with that?
Either or, sure.
Either or. And we're going to play with rom-coms.
Ooh, my favorite.
Which rom-com would you rather be in?
I've probably seen them all. Let's do it.
You ready?
Yep.
All right, let's go. So first up, we have Sex in the City versus Sweet Home Alabama. Which one would you rather be in?
Ooh, this is a hard choice because I love Sex in the City, the TV show. But if we're talking about the movies are a little whack. So I think I'm going to go with Sweet Home Alabama. I love Reese.
Really?
Yeah, I love Reese, and I love a good country story. I am from Texas after all, so I feel like I would fit better in that rom-com.
But do you feel like, I mean, like she gives up her career?
Yeah, I told you when I'm ready for that.
When I'm ready, what are you ready for? Okay, my fault.
I will do that when I'm ready for that. So yeah, no, I love that. I think it's like super sweet.
All right, Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah.
All right.
Which do you pick, Dom?
Ooh. Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I've never seen Sex in the City. But
like ever? The TV show? Nothing?
But sorry, I had granola in my mouth.
Uh-huh.
But it's scarring for me.
Why?
Because growing up, my mom used to watch Sex in the City.
Do.
So I would,
do. That song is just burned in your brain.
Yeah, that's burned in my brain. But also, the only thing that I know about it is like, I remember like when I was younger, and she would watch it all the time. I remember like being like, oh, like it's this adult show.
Yeah, it's
like,
naughty.
Yeah, all I remember, my mom was watching it. There was something going on. There was a dude called Mr. Big.
Yeah.
For Mr. Big for a reason.
Uh-huh.
And now
it was because he was tall.
Right. Right. And then I witnessed my mom was watching this and there were things going on that screen and that I was not privy to at that time.
Got it.
And now every time I hear that theme song, it makes me think of that moment.
Sure. So you're scarred.
Yeah.
So you'd pick Sweet Home Alabama too?
Yes.
Love it. We're starting off well. We're on the same page. Let's do it. What's next?
Next we got She's All That, 90s classic versus the Amanda Bynes special, She's the Man, and Channing Tatum. She's the Man versus She's All That.
That's so hard again for me because I really love both. But I think I'm going to go with She's All That. Yeah. It's just so classic. And I feel like, yeah, I'm not trying to like go back to being a man. So yeah, I'm gonna go with She's All That for sure. What about you?
Ooh, I love Channing Tatum.
I know he's fine.
I love Channing Tatum. And he could dance.
He can.
He dances his ass off. But he doesn't dance in that movie.
No.
So I'm gonna go with She's All That, even though the concept of She's All That kind of doesn't make sense to me.
Why?
Just like the concept of like him like trying to like work on this girl.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It's definitely it's a dated movie. I don't think it would work in today's era for sure.
It to be like a lot of rom-coms that were made in the 90s or 2000s would not.
No, they would not fly now.
All right, next up we have a couple musical rom-coms.
Okay.
Mamma Mia versus Grease.
Wow. Okay. These are all super hard. I love both options. But I am going to say that even though Meryl Streep was in the Mamma Mia musical movie.
Oh, no.
It wasn't very good.
Ooh.
It wasn't
hot
very
take.
good. I'm sorry. I love Meryl Streep, but I just didn't really love that movie. So I would have to go with Grease. I mean, it's just a classic. Plus, like, kissing John Travolta. I mean, gay or not, he was fine back then. So yeah, I just... I feel like that's more of a classic musical. You can never go wrong. So I'd pick Grease. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. See, here's the thing about that. Both, like, just, my complexion.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if, like, me going into Grease would work out too well for
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I
don't know. Like, what was like the 50s?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how well me trying to... Was it Sally?
Sandy, yeah.
I don't know how well it would go for me if I like tried to move up on Sandy, you know what I mean?
I think you could make some moves on Sandy. I feel like you would look good in the whole Grease vibe with the leather jacket, the clean white tee, the cigarette.
I don't know about the 50s. Have you ever heard that joke of like time travel?
I don't know the joke of time travel. Is there one joke about it?
Like
if
I were like, oh, like what if you could time travel to like any time? Where would you go? Like
1920s.
Yeah. 1920s, right?
That's where I would go.
That's where you would go.
Yeah.
Me, 1920s wouldn't go too well for me.
Right.
No.
Right. No, yeah. Many eras probably.
So, like, as much as I would love to wear leather jackets
okay,
and like sing and dance on top of muscle cars,
yeah,
I just don't think the 50s would go too well for me.
So you're going to pick Mamma Mia and you're going to go to Grease.
I don't know if Grease would go well.
I think Grease would go better than...
I think Grease might go better than Grease.
Grease.
I mean, yeah. Whoa, I didn't even... Yeah, Grease might go better. Yeah. Because there is Giannis. So maybe it'd be fine.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe I'll go with Mamma Mia.
All right.
I'll go Mamma Mia.
Alongside Meryl Streep. Guess can't go wrong there.
I do love Meryl Streep. I kind of have a crush on Meryl Streep, to be honest.
Duh, who doesn't?
Yeah, she's
her
kind of
talent
like,
alone.
Yeah.
So
is she married? She is married.
I think so, yeah.
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 For a long time.
Yeah.
Want to know why? She got that fire. She got that fire. Meryl Streep got that fire. I know she does.
I bet she does.
Yeah. All right, next up we got How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days versus 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oof.
These are two classics. Both with the number 10.
I know. Good pairing. I think I'm going to go with How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, McConaughey.
All right.
And I don't know. I just feel like that one was more heartwarming to me.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going to pick that one over the I love you, baby.
Yeah.
Like Heath Ledger?
Yeah.
What? I'm going 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay. Fair
Easily.
enough. Fair
I'm
enough.
going with that. I'm a Heath Ledger stan. I love Heath Ledger.
I love Heath Ledger too.
Like that, I think that seems like I would love, just like the romantic that I am, I was like, I wish that I did that at some point in my life.
There's still time,
just like
Dom.
a musical performance for somebody.
There's still time.
And get chased by the cops.
I believe in you.
Yeah. Put together a little flash mob.
I love it. You're scared to go to Greece, but you're not scared to get chased by the cops in current time. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Got it.
There's a running theme here.
Yeah.
Running theme. Pun intended. But yeah, I would definitely choose 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay.
I like it. That. Yeah, shout out Julia Stiles, man. Save the Last Dance.
Love
Save
her.
it for me.
Okay.
All right. Now we have a tragic one.
Ooh.
We have a heartbreaking one.
Okay.
Heartbreaking comparison. Two rom-coms in a sense. There's comedic moments.
Yeah.
More so sad moments.
Okay.
In one of them in particular, but I figured like this could be a good one to like compare.
Sure.
Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind.
Classic.
Again, in the comments, chill out. I understand it's not that much of a romantic comedy. Just hear me out here. Versus 500 Days of Summer.
Ooh.
Both don't have the happiest of endings.
Yeah. I mean, I would say Eternal Spotless Sunshine Mind is a great, whatever. It's a lot of words. That one is a great movie, and in my mind, it's so visually well done that I love it. But if I get a chance to kiss Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I'm gonna go with it. So 500 Days of Summer for sure for me.
But I think the idea of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotlight is something that like.
See, you can't even say it.
Yeah, it's a
lot. It's a mouthful.
Eternal
Plus,
Sunshine
isn't that
of a
Jim
Spotless
Carrey?
Mind.
Like Jim Carrey cray. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the other one.
I love Jim Carrey though.
I love him too, and I respect him so much as an artist. But I just feel like, Yeah, to be in that movie on set with him was probably intense.
Yeah.
Whereas Joseph is like super nerdy and chill and smart and so cute and yeah.
But wouldn't you like the idea of like being able to just like erase somebody from your brain?
No.
You wouldn't want to.
I wouldn't. No. I think all the people that have come into our lives make us who we are today. So I don't want to erase that.
I believe that as well, but like you never had that moment like ever where you're like, I wish like I just could forget about this one person. Because I'm also under the belief that like
I do.
Every person isn't necessarily the one,
right?
But they are the one that makes you a better person for the one.
Agreed.
You know what I mean, like
that's what I mean.
Like you learn everything.
That's why I'm like I don't want to forget it, but I hear what you're saying. Like sometimes when you can't get someone off your mind, and you're like, oh, I just wish I could turn the switch off. Yeah.
Like, are you ever curious if you're like, what if this never happened? What if like I could forget everything? And not saying I would want to, but like I've been. That movie in particular, like, always brings it up. Like, I watch that movie, like, every year or whatever. I'm always like, what if I could just forget this one person?
Well,
like,
it makes sense that you're choosing that one then.
I didn't say I was choosing that one.
Oh.
I'm just saying I'm in... The concept of it intrigues me.
So which one are you picking?
500 Days of Summer is really close to home because that pretty much ended, like, my last relationship.
Oh, damn.
So I pretty much already lived... I pretty much already lived that kind of concept of, like, expectation versus reality of like you think the relationship is one way when in reality it's something else.
Sure.
So seeing as how I already lived 500 Days of Summer, I might just pick that one.
Like just sign me up again.
Yeah, let's run it back.
Okay.
Let's do it again.
Love it.
Well, that's it for our show. Thanks for watching, and then thank you to my very special guest, Laganja. Let's give it up.
Thank you so much. It was great to be here and to spill the tea with you.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to share? Any projects you're working on?
Sure.
Share your socials, where everyone can find you.
You can find me all over at Laganja Estranja, except for TikTok, where I'm the only Laganja Estranja. And check out my YouTube channel, where I upload every Thursday at 4:20, naturally. I have a day in the life of vlog, which just kind of shows you behind the scenes of my life and takes you on all my travels across the world. And look out for my upcoming EP, Daily Basis, and my very first ever solo tour by the same name. Coming soon.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All y'all make sure to check out that EP. And you have music on Spotify as well already.
That's right. Spotify, Apple, anywhere where there's music available, you can just check out Laganja Estranja and you'll get my dope tunes.
Check it all out. And hope you guys like this episode. Make sure you come back next week for episode 4. So sorry to Taylor Swift, we ran out of time.
Ah, dang.
We ran out of time.
Next time, Tay.
Next time. Whenever I have guests on and we're just vibing, we overdo it.
Sorry, Tay.
Well, sorry, Taylor Swift. But she'll be here next week. Don't forget to follow, rate, and review Dom Meets World wherever you get your podcast, and subscribe to Past Your Bedtime on YouTube for full video episodes. And we'll see you next week. Hit it, Johnny. Hey, Mr. Beanie, can I ask you something? Dating's been really hard for me lately.
Why's that?
It's all different now that I'm a public figure. Everyone thinks that they know me. They've already made all these assumptions about me. The talking phase is completely different now. But they don't know me. They don't love me for me. I don't know, Mr. Beanie. I think maybe the only solution is to give up on dating altogether.
Well, Dom, I love the real you. And so does your family. And someday, some girl's gonna come along and she'll wanna get to know the real you too. Because she's never seen you on TV and she has no idea who you are. And then she'll wanna get to know the real you. Maybe this person is from far away, but not Australia though. But somewhere else, where there's no Wi-Fi or TV, maybe a cult.
You're right, Mr. Beanie. Someone so far away.
I was kidding, Dom. You should just stick to the ass.
No. Mr. Beanie, you're totally right. I should go on my dating apps and change my location somewhere like Utah. Thanks, Mr. Beanie.